Sonic X Shadow Generations was revealed to us on January 31st and was also leaked prior. A lot of us anticipated the state of play showcasing Sonic X Generations, or whatever it was going to be in general. We knew it was Sonic Generations mixed in with Shadow in some kind of way, and it's exactly what we got. Now, I don't think we're actually going to see two separate Sonic and Shadow games this year. Those are probably the Shadow and Sonic games. So that may be where Zippo was incorrect on his information. He was probably confused about the whole collection ordeal going on with Sonic and Shadow Generations. But Zippo wasn't far off. He did indeed kind of leak this. But it just seems like his sources were mixed up because Generations and the Shadow game are technically not in the same game. They're just in the same collection. Now that it's been revealed and we know it's been leaked and we know about everything about it pretty much, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly about this game. So starting out with the good. First of all, this game is a remaster of Sonic Generations, which is considered to be one of the best Sonic games ever created to a lot of people. It's not my favorite personally, and I'm hesitant to give it even top 3, but I do love Sonic Generations quite a lot, and I think it coming back to modern consoles and hopefully getting a better PC port is definitely not an L, and that's a huge W. And honestly, it really is hard to be mad at that. The only thing I could potentially see people being mad about, which they already are, is the game potentially being delisted off of Steam for the original version of the game. That would cause the entire modding community to basically lose all those years of support for modding the game. At least for people who don't own the game and want to get into it. But obviously, you still own the game even if they delist it off Steam, so mods can still come out for the game. It would just be impossible to buy it off of Steam. So modding support wouldn't technically be gone, but there wouldn't be any way for new people to really buy it off Steam and get mods. Only the existing users would benefit from owning Generations and modding Generations. And quite a few modders have already said they're not going to redo all of their mods for Sonic Generations and Shadow Generations. But the thing is, I hate to say this, but a lot of people are going to grow up with this remaster of this game, and those people are going to get older and want to make their own mods. As valuable as everything is, I feel like almost everybody is replaceable in that sense. Even content creators. Someone else is just going to rise up to do the thing you no longer want to do. And I'm not for delisting Generations at all, but I'm just saying, I think everything is replaceable in that sense, and we can always have something new to replace the old. Maybe you watching this video right now, maybe you're gonna mod Generations Remastered. But mods aside, Generations Remastered itself doesn't really seem to be that much of an improvement of the original game. It looks almost identical. Now, some people have pointed out some things about it on social media that look a little bit different, but overall, it doesn't seem to be that much of a huge increase of differences. The game overall looks pretty much the same, and I'd say Generations Remastered looks virtually untouched to the casual consumer. Maybe under the hood, there's going to be a lot of changes, probably a change to its DirectX mode. It probably won't be on 9 anymore because 9 is so old. Hopefully, at least, because I want the PC port to be better and have more native support rather than launching through a launcher. But overall, it doesn't look that touched, and honestly, that is probably one of the best things about this, because I wouldn't want to see a Colors Ultimate situation where they ruin the lighting and art direction of the game, and instead it's just remastered in the way of being upscaled probably to like 1080p and 60 FPS on consoles, and it just seems to work fine. Which honestly is a-okay to me. It's a good way to just bring it to modern audiences and consoles, because there isn't really much else you have to do, in my opinion, in order to do that. I was fine with just a port. People just want to Unleashed port on PC, and that's it. People don't even want that game to be remastered. They just want it on PC. So yeah, that part is great. I love to see it, and hopefully the game actually works good on day one. Now, let's talk about the Shadow Generations aspect of this, because that also has good, some bad, and maybe some ugly. Now, Shadow Generations, upon first view of it and my reaction to it, I was beyond hyped. I didn't know what I was looking at. It looked crazy and also was confusing, because I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't even look like Generations. This looks like Forces and Frontiers, like the Hedgehog Engine 2. So that leak was kind of correct on that as well. And honestly, I loved seeing Final Chase or Final Rush, it was probably Final Chase, as well as seeing Westopolis, and all this stuff just looked crazy. Black Doom is back. Like, what in the world is going on? We're back in 2005 now. I was that little kid again playing Shadow the Hedgehog, and then my mother takes the game back because she hears curse words. Now, for real though, seeing all that stuff actually did bring me back though to my childhood. playing games like Sonic Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog and whatnot. And of course, the ultimate GOAT, Sonic Adventure 2. But I don't know, that was really great to see. But I think the bad came in is when I started to look a little bit further and deeper into the trailer. Now, obviously, we didn't see that much, so I'm not going to be that guy and say the whole game's going to be bad or something because of the short clips we saw. I think that's valid when people say that, but I also don't think it's valid when people tell people they can't criticize things off of what they have been shown. So I'm going to do both. I'm going to criticize this and also praise it for what I've seen. I can only do what's been given to me. But within this trailer, it kind of looks like Forces. I'm going to be honest. It looks like Forces. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think Forces isn't graphically bad at all. It looks quite amazing, honestly. But it was more so how the game was playing. It severely reminded me of Forces. Especially in the Westopolis stage where Shadow's going up the wall and he does that automated turn into the side of the wall. It very much reminded me of just Forces, and the animations are straight from Forces. And there's even some animations reused from Frontiers. When Shadow's doing his homing attack with the little teleport animation, it's just the parry animation from Sonic Frontiers. That's a little worrying. And it's not worrying just because they used animations. It's worrying because I'm wondering how much they ported from these games. And this is seeming definitely like a budget title, like a very budget title, despite the animations in this looking so good. I'm not gonna lie, they're getting better and better at creating animations for these Sonic games. And the cutscenes and all of that kind of stuff, it just looks really good. Except the Frontier standstill cutscenes. But also researching into this further, we find that the person who is directing this game pretty much, or producing it, is the one and only Shun Nakamura. If you don't know who Shun Nakamura is, he's kind of the main reason why I think Sonic Forces plays the way it does, and is the way it is. He thought it was a good idea to make Sonic more simple somehow, and basically strip him of a lot of his abilities from Sonic Generations and just let the player just quote unquote go fast and dash like a maniac. That's literally the words he used. He just wants players to dash forward in a straight line like a maniac to the end goal. That was his whole philosophy with Sonic Forces, and now he's also doing this game, and it kind of looks like Sonic Forces. And you may disagree with me, and you're probably gonna be mad at me, but I don't care. That's just my opinion from how it looks from what I saw. Until I see more, I think my opinion, of course, is subject to change. But I'm still holding on to hope that the game doesn't play like Sonic Forces or even Cyberspace. I don't want it to feel like either one of those. Those don't feel good at all. I'd rather take Cyberspace controls over Sonic Forces, but it's going to be so jarring playing Sonic Generations and then going over to Shadow Generations within the same collection, and the games feel so different, and one of them feeling a lot better than the other. It's going to make Shadow Generations feel horrible. My biggest hope is that they just port the physics over from Sonic Generations over to Shadow Generations, but that may be hard because I believe Sega no longer uses the physics engine, which is what they used to make Sonic Generations, and now they use Bullet Engine. So hopefully they can still translate it somehow. I don't understand that stuff fully, so I'm talking out of my range here, but hopefully that is possible. But yes, Shadow Generations, as cool as it looks, the Bio Lizards in there, and that fight looks awesome, and the cutscenes look great. Black Doom, all that stuff is so great. Like, the decorations of that game are great, but how the actual engine is running, I'm very concerned, and I'm just hoping it's not Episode Shadow DLC or Plus, because that would indeed be ugly. And another topic is the price. I'm hoping the price of the game is not $60. I love Sonic Generations. Shadow Generations looks great. We don't know how long the game's going to be, but I'm going to assume not that long if it's being paired with Sonic Generations. This game can't sell for $60. It can't. It should not. At most, I think $40 at most will be the best pricing for them. Any higher, it will kind of just look bad, and I don't think they should do that because Nintendo does that, and they do get away with it, but people aren't happy with it, and I don't think they should do that here either. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Sonic X Shadow Generations, or Sonic and Shadow Generations. I think it looks interesting. I'm pretty excited to play a better port. Hopefully it's a better port of Sonic Generations, and I hope Shadow Generations is living up to what they're hyping it up as. And hopefully it's good and doesn't play like Forces. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are you excited to get the game? Just let me know, and make sure to hit the subscribe button. And like always, I'll see you in the next one.